It's time for some basketball! This is your one-stop shop for all slam dunks, 3-point, and dribble moves. Sit on down, crack a cold one, and get ready for some hoops. Yeah! Hello everybody! Welcome to the TNN NBA Tuesday Tip-Off. I'm your host Matt King, and welcome to the very first episode of this very special, very unique, and very ballsy NBA recap show. I hope you enjoy this show, because if you do, that means more episodes will get made. Because if you hate it, you will never see me again. Now it may look like this might be a biased show, with the Celtics logo here, the Celtics players here, but I promise you, I am not biased. This is the most unbiased NBA recap show on YouTube. Just look behind me at all these great players who haven't played in a while, and some are retired, and some dead. But nevertheless, we are going to talk all NBA all the time, once a week. Finally, the NBA season is back. After one of the shortest off seasons in history, we're ready for whatever happens this season. Sure, we're not completely back to having multiple fans in the stadiums or any fans in the stadiums, but basketball is back, and that's all that matters. Teams aren't in the bubble anymore, and they seem to be a lot happier about that. You may have seen some interviews with LeBron James and the Lakers after their bubble victory, saying how terrible it was to be there and how great they were to be home. So great, apparently, they even forgot one of their players on the bus during their celebration. But enough about the last season. It was a very tumultuous season, the Lakers ended up victorious, and this Celtics fan cried. On to the 2020-2021 NBA season, which kicked off right around Christmas Day. Happy holidays, everyone. While I'm still on the topic of the Celtics, why don't we talk about the Celtics' first few games? Sure, the preseason was a little rocky, but hey, 1 win, 1 loss in the regular season, not that bad for one of the teams who made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. My bad, that was the Eastern Conference semifinals. Damn you, Heat. The Celtics beat the Bucks in their season opener by 1 point. Depending on which shade of green you are, Jason Tatum won the game or Giannis lost the game. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown looked amazing, and in their first 2 regular season games have been averaging 25 points and 30 points. Over the offseason, the Celtics young stars definitely got better, but also taller. Forward Jason Tatum is now listed at 6'10", a whole 2 inches bigger than he was last year. It definitely seems Jason Tatum got taller, or maybe Taco shrunk a bit inside as well after that game winner by OG Anunoby in the semifinals not too long ago. To add insult to injury, Kemba Walker is out for the time being. Who knows when he'll return, as he's still suffering from some knee pains happened in the offseason. The Celtics are trying their best with who they have right now, which is some pretty good people, but alas, the Nets have better people, as Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving smash them. Kyrie Irving put up 37 points against Boston, even burning some sage on the court against his old team. And Kevin Durant looked like he hasn't missed a beat since the 500 days since his injury. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving seem like a match made in heaven. The duo, among many assets Brooklyn picked up in the offseason, have yet to be stopped this NBA season. Irving and Durant are putting up 31 and 25 points per game respectively, and those numbers will probably go up throughout the season. Many people are putting bets in to say Durant will win MVP this season. Who knows about that? Many games left to go, but I'd say it's looking pretty good so far. Also sitting pretty atop the Atlantic Division are the Philadelphia 76ers, who are as well undefeated. Granted, their games have been against the Knicks and the Wizards. Nonetheless, Simmons and Embiid are back and ready to play basketball, among some new fresh faces on the Sixers team this season. Guard Seth Curry is making his presence felt known in Philadelphia, averaging 13 points per game. Meanwhile, newfound champion Dwight Howard and questionable tweet maker Dwight Howard is averaging 4 points a game and 10 rebounds. So far, 6 players on the 76ers team are averaging 10 points or more this season, with Embiid sitting on top at 29 points per game. Not to mention new coach Doc Rivers, who must have sent the boys to rebounding camp, as Simmons and Embiid are both averaging 9 and 14 rebounds per game, respectively. As for the rest of the Atlantic Division, the Raptors have not won a game, and the Knicks are the Knicks. Moving on to the Central Division, the Pacers and Cavs are sitting pretty, both undefeated, and both, shockingly? Don't get me wrong, Pacers and Cavs have built very good teams over this offseason, but I would not imagine Sabonis and Colin Sexton to be at the top of the Central Conference when you're dealing with people like Giannis. The Pacers are starting to find their groove with Sabonis at their helm, Sabonis averaging 32 points, and Oladipo, still the big question on everyone's mind how he will perform this season, is off to a good start at 22 points a game. Meanwhile in Cleveland, as the days go by, Colin Sexton gets older and a little bit better. 27 points per game for him in the first 2 games of the season. Andre Drummond, 14 rebounds a game. And right behind Drummond is JaVale McGee. NBA champion JaVale McGee holding it down with 13 rebounds a game, 13 points a game as well. If there's one piece of advice I have for the Central Division or just the NBA in general, do not count the Bucks out. A near loss to the Celtics and a pretty dominant win over the Warriors shows that they're here to compete this season. And it's not just Giannis too. It seems as Chris Middleton has found his niche, averaging 29 points a game. I know these numbers sound high because it's the beginning of the season, but look out for Chris Middleton this year, folks. If him and Giannis can work together as a great 1-2 punch, might be over for the rest of the league. And in the Southeast Division, Hawks and Magic sitting pretty. Hornets, what? After an amazing preseason run by LaMelo Ball and the Hornets, he scores 0 points in his season opener. No, that's not a typo, 0. Meanwhile, scary Terry Rozier puts up 42 in the season opener. What? The Hornets are definitely an interesting team this year. We'll see what they do with Rozier and LaMelo, starting them both, benching one. Who knows what to do when both might score 25 points a game. The newfound addition of Hayward is looking pretty well too, as Hayward put up 28 in the season opener. Trae Young and the Hawks are on the rise this season. Young put up 37 points and is looking like he's not going to slow down. The Magic are sitting on top undefeated after beating the Wizards, and who's leading them but Evan Fournier. Some players that get some honorable mentions from the Eastern Conference are Russell Westbrook. His new home in Washington seems to be fitting him pretty well, and he likes his players a lot more than he likes James Harden, averaging 15 assists per game. Another mention goes to Miles Turner, averaging 8 blocks a game and probably will be averaging more. Again, the stats are a little wonky right now after only a few games, but keep an eye out for these names. Moving on to the Western Conference, where things are just as competitive. Timberwolves are atop of the Northwest Division, and after a near injury by Karl Anthony Towns, continue to roll on to an undefeated record. First overall pick Anthony Edwards is fitting right into the fold in Minnesota, averaging 15 points a game. D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns are averaging 18 points a game and 22 points per game respectively, and Malik Beasley is sitting atop of their scoring with 23 points a game. Towns leads the team with 11 rebounds a game, and shooting guard Jarrett Culver sits with 10. The Wolves defeated the Jazz in their last game, and the Jazz are 1-1 now, but their team is looking pretty crazy. 7 players, that's right, 7 players, all averaging 10 points or more. And on top of leading the team in scoring with 20 points per game, Rudy Gobert also leads the team in rebounding with 17 boards a game. Rudy Gobert has definitely showcased his defensive monstrosity in the past, and this year looks to be no different. Meanwhile, the Nuggets are winless after a very impressive first 2 games that saw Jokic average a triple-double, 26 points, 12 boards, and 12 assists. Hopefully luck starts to turn around for them, and Jamal Murray cracks into what we saw from him in the playoffs not too long ago. Meanwhile, in the Pacific Division, the Clippers are looking bloody. Kawhi Leonard loses his teeth, but not the game, against Luka and the Dallas Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard is listed as day-to-day. Hopefully he can return soon. That Raptors ring can probably buy him some new teeth. Both Leonard and George are averaging 23.5 and 28 points per game, respectively. Now that the playoffs are over, Paul George can finally be a good player and not playoff P. The Suns are also looking good after picking up Chris Paul in the offseason, pairing him with Devin Booker. While the first few games have seemed rocky for the Suns, Devin Booker has put up 22 points per game and Chris Paul has put up 8. Paul had a very impressive playoffs last year for someone at the age of 35. Hopefully he can make that magic happen again during the regular season, as all we want is to see Chris Paul win a ring. Oh, but I'm being biased. I'm just saying what we're all thinking. Once this team picks up steam, Chris Paul and Devin Booker, not to mention DeAndre Ayton holding it down at the 5, will definitely be a scary team to watch out west. As for the NBA champions, Los Angeles Lakers, things have been weird. As we've seen from the past, like the beginning of the bubble, never take the beginning of something as a good indication of what will end up. Many rumors stated that because of the quick off-season and LeBron's age, that James would be hesitant to return to the league so soon, but here he is back in action. Both him and Anthony Davis are averaging 22 and 23 points respectively, and from these early numbers, we can begin to see just how the Lakers won the championship. Their stars are all very well-rounded, and their assist and rebound numbers are so close together. Davis and James, as well as new pickups Harrell and Schroeder, all averaging 6 rebounds and up. And the same thing goes for assists. Those 4 players averaging 2.5 assists or more. The pickups made by the Lakers in the offseason definitely put them at a very high chance to repeat, as well as the betting odds. Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors are off to an 0-2 start, losing pretty badly in both of their first games. Now, they were against the Nets and the Bucks, who very well may be the Eastern Conference Finals this year. There's some explaining to do, Steph Curry. Now, many are quick to say that, oh, Steph is so incomplete without Draymond and Klay, but we need to talk about the hair. Steph Curry, if you're watching this, and I know you are, lose the dreads, man. You can't expect to win championships with that hair. That's all I gotta say, dude. I know for a fact you're looking at your stats right now and saying, I'm only putting up 19.5 points per game. What could be the issue? The dreads. Rookie James Wiseman is looking pretty good, averaging 19 points per game and 7 rebounds, but he's gonna have to step it up if he wants to replace those shoes left behind by Thompson and Green. On to the Southwest Division, where the Spurs are sitting pretty. DeMar DeRozan is on a roll, averaging almost a triple-double in his first game, 28, 9, and 9. This team looks pretty good this year. I'm probably saying that a lot, but this season is looking to be one of the most competitive seasons in history. And when you have DeRozan and Murray as your backcourt, that's going to be tough. Not to mention LaMarcus Aldridge, who's surprisingly still kicking and surprisingly still averaging 20 points per game. For this team to make it far this season, we're going to need Aldridge to work on his defense. Sure, we love 20 points per game from a veteran power forward / center, but 3 rebounds isn't going to cut it. Alas, first game nerves, but LaMarcus Aldridge, go to defense camp. The Pelicans are looking interesting this season. Brandon Ingram's newfound contract may inspire him to put up more points per game, averaging 26 in his first 2 games. Zion is sitting behind him at 23.5 points per game and 12 rebounds. New pickup Eric Bledsoe is averaging 11.5 points, while Lonzo is averaging 11. It will be interesting to see what the team does with these 2 point guards this year, whether they play them both at once or have JJ Redick be the number 2 guy to either of these guys. Both situations will be very fun to watch. As for the Rockets, well, Houston, we have a problem. I'm not one to spread rumors, but it looks like Harden is very unhappy in Houston. Multiple footage has shown up of when Harden is not playing a game, he is missing practice and at the strip club. His body is not looking that great either, and their record is showing for it. As I'm recording this, the Rockets just lost a very close one to the Blazers in overtime. And you guessed it, a missed James Harden play. Maybe a departure from Russell Westbrook was all Harden needed, but it seems he wants to get the heck out of Dodge. Currently, one of his rumored destinations is Boston, and as a Celtics fan, all I can say is, hell no. Kyrie Irving was enough to ruin the idea of a big superstar coming to Beantown for me for a good lifetime. I'll stick with my young guns, and don't you dare trade them away. Danny Ainge, I know you're listening. To go off on a tangent here for a second, adding Harden to Boston wouldn't be the greatest move. As our stars begin to rise and want more money, it's not safe for us to assume that they will all take a pay cut. Both Brown and Smart have already taken pay cuts to give way to Tatum and Kemba, but one more max contract is really going to hurt our salary cap. Not to mention, I don't see Harden fitting in with our system that well, seeing as both of our shooting guards, Brown and Smart, are really good. But enough green talk, the last team I want to cover out west is the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic, whose name is as fun to say as he is to watch, has been underperforming this season. Now don't overreact on me yet, just listen to what I have to say. Luka is basically putting up 36 and 6, but that's not enough. Luka has the potential to be one of the greatest players to ever set foot in the NBA. But he's going to need to average a lot more points or get some more firepower on that Dallas bench. Kristaps Porzingis and injuries go together like ham and cheese, and this season is no exception. Who knows when Porzingis will return, but when he does, him and Luka need to really step it up and be the two-headed monster that will devour the West. Honorable mentions for the Western Conference this week go to Ja Morant. While both games have been a loss for him and the Grizzlies, Ja has managed to put up 44 points a game. He's currently leading the league in scoring as of now, but that is set to change as more teams begin to stretch their legs a bit in the NBA season. Or who knows, maybe Ja will continue to drop 44 a night and win MVP this season. My second honorable mention for this week goes to Rudy Gobert, averaging 17 rebounds a game for the Utah Jazz. And now moving on to our next section of the show, Chris's Kick Picks. Take it away, Chris.
Welcome to Chris's Kick Picks. I'm Tom. Merry Christmas, everybody. No, I'm kidding. It's Chris here with your kick picks for the week. We're going to start off with Luka Doncic's kicks. I'm going to have to say that's going to be 2 big thumbs down. What is Christmas about these at all? There's no red, there's no green, there's nothing. Moving on. Montrezl Harrell, he's going to get 2 thumbs way up. I mean, Abominable Snowman, there's hair on the shoes. I mean, you're not going to see that anywhere else. It's great. I love it. Love everything about it. Paul George with the satin red shoes by Nike are one of my favorites from Christmas this year. They just look so nice. You just want to touch them. You just want to rub them. Feels good. 2 thumbs way the fuck up. Anthony Davis. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis, but Kobe did this years ago. The green shoes. Come on, bro. 2 thumbs way down. Giannis. Very good job. Winter Wonderland type shoes. I really dig these. Super cool. They kind of look like snowflakes with the designs. I'm going to have to give these 2 thumbs way up. I would wear them myself. Can you give me a pair, please? 2 thumbs up. Next shoe is Steph Curry. I'm not sure if Steph Curry is of Chinese ancestry, but for some reason he decided to make his shoes Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year's not anywhere close to Christmas. Come on, Steph. Be better. I thought your cornrows said something about you, but I didn't know it was I'm Chinese. 2 thumbs down. Next up, Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics. Now, I'm not being biased here, but 2 thumbs up! We love these ones. They're red, they super clash with the Celtics colors, but don't care, because Jason Tatum's the future. 2 thumbs way up. Next, we're moving on to Kyle Kuzma, and what the fuck? These are not Christmas colors at all. They look like you should be playing soccer. 2 thumbs down. And we're going to end it off with LeBron. You know, LeBron is LeBron, and he does Christmas well. We got the green laces, we got the Nike swoosh in gold, and we got the all-red shoes. They're beautiful. My best top pick for Christmas shoes this year. 2 thumbs up for LeBron. Giannis gets a close second, and then after that, I guess it's whatever you want to pick. They're all garbage. Thanks!
Well, that's going to have to do it for our very first episode of TNN NBA Tuesday Tip-Off. As always, I'm your host, Matt King, and I hope you enjoyed this debut episode. It's going to be an exciting NBA season, so make sure you stay tuned here to the CMFs channel for all your NBA news every Tuesday. Make sure you guys be safe, wear your mask, like the video, subscribe to the CMFs, go to thecmfs.com, buy a shirt, stream our album on every streaming service, and have a good night.